The silver crown never reached Vivian's head. My 5-year-old daughter made sure of that. Before we dive into this story, let us know where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe for more heartwarming stories every day. I stood before 300 pack members in the grand hall, my heart heavy but my decision made. Vivian Blackwood stood beside me in her white ceremonial gown, diamonds glittering at her throat. She was perfect, politically connected, beautiful, powerful. Everything in Alpha's Luna should be. Everything except what my daughter needed. Do you, Alpha Kieran Stormwood, take Vivian Blackwood as your Luna, to rule beside you until the moon goddess calls you home? Elder Thomas's voice echoed through the hall. I do, I said, the words tasting like ash. Vivian's red lips curved into a triumphant smile. I lifted the ancient crown, silver and moonstone, worn by every Luna in my family for 2 centuries. That's when I heard the patter of small feet. No! Ilara burst from her grandmother's arms, her little white dress flying behind her like wings. Before anyone could react, she leaped onto the stage with supernatural speed. Her wolf already stronger than any pup her age. Ilara, stop! I commanded, but she ignored me. She jumped, tiny hands closing around the crown. Vivian shrieked as Ilara yanked it from my grasp, stumbling backward. You're not my mama! Ilara screamed at Vivian. Tears streamed down her flushed cheeks. You don't smell right. You don't smell like love. The hall erupted in gasps and whispers. My heart hammered. In 5 years, Ilara had never had an outburst like this. She clutched the crown to her chest, her wild eyes scanning the crowd. Then she went completely still, her head tilting like a wolf catching a scent. Ran. Not to me. Not to her grandmother. She ran straight into the crowd, weaving between shocked pack members, until she reached the servants' corner. And there, dressed in a plain gray uniform, trying to disappear into the shadows, stood Maya Rivers, the Omega who worked in our kitchens. Quiet. Invisible. No one special. Ilara stopped in front of her, breathing hard. Maya's honey-brown eyes went wide with panic. Little one, what are you? You, Ilara whispered, her voice filled with wonder. You smell like Mama. You smell like home. My blood turned to ice. Ilara lifted the crown high above her head, and placed it on Maya's dark hair. This is my new Mama, Ilara announced to the frozen hall. My wolf knows. She's the one. She's supposed to wear the crown. The silence was deafening. Then Vivian screamed. And as I stared at the terrified Omega wearing my family's crown, I caught it, just for a second, a scent I thought I'd never smell again. The scent of my dead mate. Maya's hands trembled as she reached for the crown, trying to remove it. No! Ilara wrapped her small arms around Maya's legs. It stays. You're supposed to have it. I finally found my voice. Ilara, come here. Now. My daughter shook her head, pressing her face against Maya's hip. The Omega looked like she wanted to dissolve into the floor. Alpha, I'm so sorry, Maya stammered, her voice barely a whisper. I don't know why I never encouraged. She comes to you, I said slowly, the pieces clicking together. The nightmares. When Ilara has nightmares, she doesn't come to me. She goes somewhere else. Maya's face went pale. Answer me. She finds me in the kitchen, Maya whispered. Late at night. She says the other rooms smell wrong, but the kitchen smells like safety. Like her mama used to smell. I didn't want to bother you, Alpha. You have so much on your plate. I held her until she fell asleep. I didn't mean any harm. The crowd's murmurs grew louder. Vivian's face was purple with rage. You've been manipulating his daughter, Vivian shrieked. Using some kind of Omega tricks too. She's 5 years old. Maya's voice cracked. She's a grieving child who misses her mother. I just gave her comfort. Something in her tone, the fierce protectiveness, made my wolf stir. Elder Thomas stepped forward, his ancient eyes studying Maya with disturbing intensity. Child, come here. Maya hesitated, But Ilara tugged her forward. The old man leaned close, inhaling deeply. His eyes widened. Alpha Kiran, he said carefully. We need to speak. Privately. Immediately. Not until that Omega is punished. Vivian snarled. She's ruined everything. My family. Your family can wait. The command in my voice made everyone freeze. I was done being diplomatic. I looked at Maya, really looked at her for the first time. She kept her eyes down, but Ilara clung to her like a lifeline. Maya Rivers, you're confined to the pack house until further notice. Guards will escort you. Alpha, please, I didn't. I know. I surprised myself with the words. This isn't punishment. It's protection. Vivian's shriek could have shattered glass. As guards gently extracted Ilara from Maya and led the Omega away, my daughter screamed like her heart was breaking. Daddy, no. She's the one. My wolf knows. Why don't you listen? Elder Thomas touched my arm. Because, he said quietly. His wolf is about to realize something that will change everything. Maya Rivers isn't who you think she is, the elder whispered. And neither was your mate. Vivian's perfectly manicured nails dug into my arm as I tried to leave the hall. You're choosing an Omega over me? Her voice dripped venom. Do you have any idea what my family will do? Your family can file their grievances through proper channels. Pulled free. Right now, I need to understand why my daughter. Your daughter is a child having a tantrum. Vivian's mask cracked completely. And you're indulging her. This is exactly why everyone says you're too weak to lead without a strong Luna beside you. The crowd gasped. You didn't question an alpha's strength publicly. Not if you valued your position. Leave, I said quietly. Now. I'm not going anywhere. We had an agreement. We had an arrangement. One you just violated by disrespecting me in front of my pack. My wolf pushed forward, making my voice drop to a growl. Leave before I have you escorted out. Vivian's eyes flashed. For just a moment, I saw something cold and calculating behind her rage. Then she smoothed her expression into wounded dignity. Fine. But my father will hear about this humiliation. And when he does, she leaned close. That little Omega will pay for what she's stolen from me. She swept from the hall, her supporters trailing behind her. I found Elder Thomas in the archives. Ancient texts spread across his desk. Tell me, I demanded. Sit down, Alpha. I'll stand. He sighed. Do you remember the circumstances of your mate's death 3 years ago? My chest tightened. Rogue attack. Cassandra was killed protecting Ilara. We never found her body. And do you remember when Maya Rivers joined our pack? She was already here when I became Alpha. A foundling adopted as an infant. I froze. 3 years ago. She was brought to us 3 years ago. 3 years and 2 months ago to be precise. Found abandoned at our border, unconscious, with no memory of who she was or where she came from. We assumed she was a wandering Omega who'd been attacked. But look at this. He pushed a photograph toward me. Cassandra's official Luna portrait. Then he placed another beside it. Maya's pack registration photo. They didn't look identical. Different hair color, different eye color, different bone structure. But something in the shape of their faces, the way they held themselves. The scent, I whispered. Ilara smelled it. How is that possible? There are legends, Thomas said slowly. Ancient magic. Twin flame bonds. Soul splitting. But they're just stories. Or so I thought. A knock interrupted us. A guard entered, his face grim. Alpha, there's been an incident. The Omega. Someone tried to attack her in her room. My blood ran cold. Is she hurt? No, sir. She fought them off. Knocked a trained warrior unconscious. The guard swallowed hard. Sir, Omegas can't do that. It's impossible. Unless, Elder Thomas said softly, she's not actually an Omega at all. I found Maya in her assigned room, sitting on the bed with her head in her hands. Her knuckles were bloody. A unconscious guard lay slumped against the wall. One of Vivian's men, I noted. "Don't come closer," Maya said without looking up. "I don't know what's happening to me." "You defended yourself. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Omegas don't fight like that." She finally looked at me, and I saw fear in her honey brown eyes. "I shouldn't be that strong. I shouldn't be able to." She stopped, clenching her fists. "To what?" "To want to rip out the throat of anyone who threatens that little girl." Her voice cracked. "I've worked here for 3 years. I've kept my head down, stayed invisible. But when Alara started coming to me at night, something inside me just woke up. And today, when she put that crown on my head, it felt right. Like I was remembering something I'd forgotten." I sat carefully on the opposite end of the bed. "Do you remember anything before you came here?" "No. Just waking up at the border, terrified and alone. The pack healers said I'd been through trauma. That the memory loss might be permanent. Or magical," I said quietly. Her head snapped up. I pulled out the photographs Thomas had given me. "This is Cassandra. Mimi. Ilara's mother. She died 3 years ago." Maya stared at the photo, her hand trembling as she reached for it. We don't look alike." "No. But you appeared exactly when she disappeared. You smell like her, enough that my daughter's wolf recognized it. And you have strength no Omega should possess." "What are you saying?" "I don't know yet. But I'm going to find out." Understood. Elder Thomas is researching ancient texts. There are stories about soul bonds, about magic that can split or transfer essence. If someone wanted to hide you to make you forget who you were, why would anyone do that to me? That's what I intend to discover. A knock at the door. My head guard entered, carrying a sealed envelope. "This just arrived by courier Alpha. From the Eastern Territory." I opened it, and my blood turned to ice. Inside was a child's drawing, clearly old, the edges yellowed. It showed 2 little girls holding hands, both with identical smiles. Written in a child's handwriting, "Me and my sister forever." Below it, a note in adult script. "Ask Maya about the war. Ask her who she really is. Her family sends their regards. A friend." I looked at Maya. She'd gone white as snow. "I don't have a sister," she whispered. "I don't have a family. I don't have anything before 3 years ago." "Someone thinks you do." "And I think," I said slowly, "Vivian knows exactly who that someone is." I found Vivian in the guest wing, packing her bags with sharp, angry movements. "We need to talk. I have nothing to say to you." She didn't look at me. I closed the door behind me and locked it. "You knew about Maya. You knew who she was before I did." Her hand stilled on a silk dress. "I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me." I pulled out the drawing. "Someone sent this. Someone who knows the truth. And the way you threatened Maya earlier, that wasn't just jealousy. That was fear." Vivian turned slowly, and the mask was completely gone. In its place was cold calculation. "Fine. You want the truth." She smiled cruelly. "Maya Rivers is Maya Thornheart, daughter of Alpha Marcus Thornheart of the Eastern Territory. Your enemy. The man whose pack you destroyed in the border war 3 years ago." The room spun. "That's impossible. Marcus Thornheart's entire family died in that war." "Did they?" Vivian's laugh was bitter. "Or did you just believe what you were told?" Marcus had twin daughters. Everyone thought both died when their compound burned. But one survived barely. She was smuggled out, her memories stripped away by dark magic. Her wolf bound so she'd never remember her strength. She was planted here, in your pack, as leverage. Leverage for what? For when I became Luna. The plan was simple. Marry you, gain your trust, then reveal what I'd hidden in plain sight. An enemy Alpha's daughter, living among you. It would have destroyed your credibility, made you look weak. And my family would have stepped in to help you maintain order. Rage burned through me. You put my daughter in danger. Your daughter ruined everything. Vivian shrieked. That brat and her stupid wolf instincts. Do you want to know the real twist, Alpha? The reason Ilara recognized Maya. I waited, jaw clenched. The magic that bound Maya. It didn't just strip her memories. It took her essence, her soul's signature. And because she was dying from her injuries, the witch who saved her needed an anchor. A life force to tether her to. Vivian's smile was cruel. They used your mate. Cassandra's essence was woven into Maya's survival spell. That's why they smell the same. That's why Ilara's wolf knows. Maya is living because Cassandra's soul is partially bound to hers. The world stopped. Cassandra. She didn't die in a rogue attack. No. She was murdered. By my family. Because she discovered our plans and threatened to expose us. Vivian's eyes glittered. But her death served a purpose. It created the perfect binding magic. Poetic, really. I moved before I could think, my hand around her throat, lifting her off the ground. My wolf was screaming for blood. Kieran, wait. Elder Thomas burst through the door I'd forgotten to reinforce. Don't kill her. We need her to break the binding. Break it. Vivian choked out a laugh. Break it and Maya dies. The magic is all that's keeping her alive. Choose, Alpha. Your mate's memory, or your mate's murderer's daughter. I released Vivian, letting her drop to the floor. She gasped for air, but her eyes held triumph. You can't touch me. Not without killing Maya too. Elder Thomas pulled me aside. She's lying. There has to be a way to safely break the binding. Or, Vivian said, standing and smoothing her dress, you could just let things proceed as planned. I'll still marry you. Maya can continue working in the kitchens, none the wiser. Everyone lives. Everyone's happy. Except my daughter, I growled. Who knows the truth even if she can't explain it? Children adapt. Vivian's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and smiled. Ah, right on schedule. What did you do? Insurance. My father was quite upset about today's humiliation. He sent some associates to have a conversation with Maya. Nothing fatal. Just enough to remind her of her place. I was out the door before she finished speaking, Thomas close behind me. My wolf took over, speed blurring the world as I raced to Maya's room. I smelled blood before I saw them. 3 rogues had somehow gotten past my guards. Maya was backed into a corner, her simple dress torn, blood running from a cut on her cheek. But she wasn't cowering. She was fighting. And winning. One rogue lay unconscious. Another had claw marks across his chest. The third circled her warily. You don't smell like an Omega, he snarled. What are you? I don't know, Maya said, her voice deadly calm. But I know you threatened a child who trusts me. And for that you die. Her eyes flashed gold. Not the yellow of a normal wolf, but pure gold, ancient and powerful. The rogue lunged. I hit him mid-air, my wolf erupting as I shifted. We crashed into the far wall. I didn't give him a chance to surrender, my jaws closing around his throat until he went still. When I turned, Maya had collapsed against the wall, breathing hard. Her eyes were back to honey brown, but I'd seen the truth. You shifted your eyes, I said, shifting back to human form. You're not an Omega. Your wolf is there, just buried. Maya stared at her shaking hands. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to protect Ilara. The thought of them getting to her. They weren't after Ilara. They were after you. Her head snapped up. What? Elder Thomas entered, surveying the carnage. We need to move her. Vivian will send more. No. Maya pushed herself up. I'm not running. I'm not hiding anymore. I don't care what I can't remember. I know who I am right now. I'm someone who loves that little girl. Someone who won't let anyone hurt her. Something in my chest cracked open at her words. The fierce protectiveness, the strength, the way she put Ilara first. It was exactly what a true Luna would do. Then we fight, I said. But first, you need to know the truth about who you are. I told her everything. The war. Her father. Cassandra. The binding magic. With each word, I watched her face cycle through shock, grief, and finally rage. My family is dead because of a political scheme. Her voice shook. And your mate was murdered to use her soul to keep me alive. I'm an abomination. You're a survivor, I corrected. And a victim. The abomination is Vivian and whoever helped her. Then let's end this. Maya's eyes hardened. She said breaking the binding will kill me. But what if we don't break it? What if we complete it? Elder Thomas went still. That's theoretically possible. If we could access the original spell, modify it. Do it, Maya said. Use whatever's left of Cassandra's essence. Let it fully merge with mine instead of just tethering me to life. If I'm going to survive this, I want to do it carrying her memory with honor, not as some magical parasite. It could kill you anyway, I warned. Or it could make me strong enough to protect Ilara from whatever Vivian's family sends next. She met my eyes. Isn't that worth the risk? Before I could answer, an explosion rocked the building. Through the window, I saw flames rising from the east wing, the children's quarters where Ilara was sleeping. I ran faster than I'd ever run, Maya somehow keeping pace beside me. The children's wing was engulfed in smoke. Parents screamed, trying to reach their pups. Ilara! I roared, searching the chaos. There! Maya pointed to a third-floor window where Ilara's small face appeared, coughing. The stairs were blocked. Flames climbed the walls. I prepared to shift and jump, but Maya grabbed my arm. I can feel her, she whispered, her eyes going distant. Through the bond. The same bond that makes her recognize me. I can reach her. Maya, you can't shift. Your wolf is bound. Then it's time to break free. Before I could stop her, Maya closed her eyes. Power radiated from her like heat waves. The air around her shimmered. Cassandra, she whispered. If any part of you is in me, please. Help me save our daughter. The change that came over her wasn't like any shift I'd witnessed. Golden light poured from her skin. Her body trembled, fighting against magical chains I couldn't see. Elder Thomas appeared beside me, beginning to chant in the old language. I can help guide the transition, but she has to be the one to break through. Maya screamed as her wolf tore free from years of magical suppression. But it wasn't the small, weak Omega wolf that should have emerged. It was massive, powerful. Her fur shimmered between brown and gold, as if two wolves occupied the same space. And her eyes, one honey brown, one the ice blue that Cassandra's had been. She didn't hesitate. That impossible wolf leaped, clearing 3 stories in a single bound, crashing through the window. Glass rained down as she disappeared into the smoke. Seconds felt like hours. Then she emerged. Ilara clutched gently in her massive jaws, along with 2 other pups. She landed with supernatural grace and shifted back to human form, cradling the children. Mama! Ilara sobbed, clinging to Maya. I knew you'd come. I told them you'd come. Maya's eyes, still showing both colors, met mine over Ilara's head. Tears streamed down her face. I remember, she whispered. Not everything, but enough. Enough to know that Cassandra wanted this. In her last moments, she chose to save me, to give me a purpose, protecting her daughter. Our daughter. The crowd had gone silent, staring at the impossible sight. Vivian appeared at the edge of the gathering, her face pale. No, this isn't possible. The binding should have held. Your magic was flawed, Elder Thomas said coldly. You tried to chain one soul to another for selfish purposes. But souls bound by love can't be controlled. They can only grow stronger. Maya stood still holding Ilara. The crowd parted for her instinctively, recognizing power, recognizing authority, recognizing their true Luna. She's not just Maya Thornheart anymore, Thomas announced. She carries the essence of 2 Alpha's daughters, bound by a Luna's sacrifice. Which means, Alpha Kiran, your daughter was right all along. He smiled. The moon goddess doesn't make mistakes. The golden light spread like wildfire, pure and cleansing. The witch shrieked as her dark magic unraveled, unable to stand against a power born of genuine love and sacrifice. Vivian collapsed, freed from compulsion. The witch tried to run, but Elder Thomas's binding spell caught her, holding her in place. Maya shifted back to human form, but something fundamental had changed. She stood taller, stronger. The uncertainty was gone from her eyes, both honey brown and ice blue shining with equal strength. "It's done," Elder Thomas breathed in awe. "The binding has transformed into a true soul bond. Maya and Cassandra aren't separate anymore. They're one, as they were always meant to be." Maya knelt beside me, her hands gentle as she checked my burns. "Are you okay? I'll heal." I caught her hand. "But what you just did. I protected our family. That's what a Luna does." She smiled, and I saw both women in that expression, Maya's warmth and Cassandra's fierce determination. The Council of Elders arrived within the hour. After reviewing the evidence and witnessing the witch's confession, they stripped the Blackwood family of their territory and titles. Vivian, broken and weeping, accepted exile rather than face execution. 3 days later, we held another ceremony in the Grand Hall. This time, when I lifted the crown, there was no doubt, no hesitation. "Maya Thornhart Stormwood," I said, my voice carrying to every corner. "Will you accept the role of Luna to stand beside me to protect this pack, to guide our daughter and all the children who will look to you?" "I will," she said, her voice steady. But before I could place the crown, small hands tugged at my sleeve. "Can I do it, Daddy?" Ilara asked, her eyes bright. "I want to do it right this time." I handed her the crown, and the crowd held its breath. Ilara stood on tiptoe, carefully placing the silver and moonstone crown on Maya's head. "There," she said proudly. "Now it's official. The crown knows where it belongs." The pack erupted in howls of celebration. Later, after the feast, I found Maya on the balcony, watching Ilara play with the other pups below. "Do you ever regret it?" I asked. "Everything you lost." "I regret what was taken from me," she said carefully. "My family, my memories, my choices. But I don't regret where I ended up. Cassandra's last act was to give me a purpose, to protect the daughter she loved more than life itself. How could I regret that? And us?" The question slipped out before I could stop it. She turned, studying my face. "That's more complicated. Cassandra was your mate. I carry her essence, her memories of loving you. But I'm also Maya, who's only known you for days as anything more than a distant alpha." She paused. "Ask me again in a year. After we've had time to figure out who we are together, not just who we were forced to become." It was honest, fair, and somehow exactly right. "Deal," I said, offering my hand. She shook it, smiling. Then she surprised me by leaning close. "But for the record," she whispered, "I'm looking forward to figuring it out." Below us, Ilara looked up and waved, her face glowing with happiness. "Mama, Daddy, come play." And as we headed down to join her, I realized my daughter had been right all along. The moon goddess doesn't make mistakes. Sometimes the crown just needs to find its way to the right head, even if it takes a 5-year-old's wisdom to show it the way. Moral lesson. True leadership isn't about titles or political alliances. It's about love, sacrifice, and the courage to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Sometimes the smallest voices speak the greatest truths, and the most powerful bonds are forged not by magic or force, but by choosing to love unconditionally. A real crown doesn't make someone worthy. Being worthy of the crown makes it mean something. The greatest wisdom often comes from the purest hearts. Children see with clarity unclouded by politics or pride. They recognize love, safety, and truth instinctively. And sometimes the person you need most is the one you've overlooked, because real strength isn't always loud or obvious. It's the quiet Omega who comforts a crying child at midnight. It's the sacrifice made in love that echoes across lifetimes. Family isn't just blood. It's who chooses to stand with you when the world burns.